Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. My name is Lisa and my partner is Kanika. We are responding to the first case, ethical dilemma in our group. So the first case have 4 questions. The first one, how might the R2D2 drones influence employee behavior? Do you think they will cause people to act more or less ethically, and why? The introduction of the R2D2 drones in the workplace could have a significant impact on employee behavior. On one hand, the drone's ability to enhance efficiency and facilitate tasks like fetching items or attending meetings on behalf of employees could boost productivity and lead to more ethical behavior, as employees may be able to focus on their core responsibility more effectively. However, the constant presence of these drones may also infringe on employee privacy and autonomy, which could potentially lead to decreased job satisfaction and trust. Moreover, the risk of misuse or over-reliance on the technology could introduce new ethical dilemmas, causing employees to prioritize convenience over ethical considerations and behave in ways that are less ethical. The second question is who should get the drones initially? How can you justify your decision ethically? What restrictions should these people be given, and how do you think employees, both those who get drones and those who don't, will react to this change? Deciding to who should initially receive the R2D2 drones requires a well-considered strategy. First, it is important to balance factors such as employee needs, potential productivity gains, and the prevention of inequity. A fair approach could involve distributing the drones employee based on demonstrated need or potential for increased efficiency, while ensuring that those who do not receive drones are not disadvantaged. Clear guidelines and restrictions must then be established to protect employee privacy, prevent misuse, and maintain ethical standards. This could include limits on drone usage, requirements for employee consent, and policy regarding data collection and security. It is likely that employees who receive the drones may initially welcome the added convenience and efficiency, but those who do not may feel excluded or concerned about potential privacy implications. Consequently, careful communication and a transparent decision-making process will be crucial to managing the reactions of all employees. Moving on to the third question. How will your organization deal with sabotage or misuse of the drones? The value of an R2D2 drone is $2,500. Preventing sabotage and misuse of the R2D2 drones will be a crucial challenge for the organization. To address this, the organization should consider implementing robust security protocols such as access controls and tamper detection measures to help mitigate the risk of unauthorized access or tampering. Additionally, establishing clear consequences for misconduct and providing comprehensive employee training on the proper use of the drones can discourage unethical behavior. Given the high value of of each drone, $2,500. The organization should also consider investing in additional security measures such as GPS tracking and remote deactivation capabilities to protect against theft or unauthorized use. Continuous monitoring of drone activity and regular system updates will be essential to address any emerging issue or vulnerabilities. So the next and also the last question of the first case is many organizations already use electronic monitoring of employees, including sifting through website usage and email correspondence, often without the employees' direct knowledge. In what way might drone monitoring be better or worse for employees than convert electronic monitoring or of web or email activity? The answer is while the introduction of drone technology in the workplace shares some similarities with traditional electronic monitoring, such as increased visibilities and data collections, there are significant differences that may impact employees in different ways. Drones have the ability to gather a wider range of data, including visual and audio information, which raises more substantial privacy concerns compared to monitoring web usage or email correspondence. The constant presence of drones and their capacity to observe employees' actions and interactions more closely may be perceived as a greater infringement on personal privacy and autonomy. However, drone monitoring could potentially be better for employees if the organization implements clear policies, obtains employee consent, and transparently communicates the purpose of limitations of the drone technology. This level of transparency and employee involvement may help to build trust and mitigate concerns as opposed to the more covert nature of traditional electronic monitoring. Ultimately, the impact of drone monitoring on employees will depend on the specific implementations, the organization's policies, and the ability to balance the potential benefits of the technology with the protection of employee rights and privacy. So this is all for the first case.
Good evening, teacher. My name is Bol, and today I would like to answer about the case incident 1, Apple goes global. So in this case, there are 3 members who are responsible for this. They are Neuralin, Kangosin, and me and Bol. So about the question 1 is, what are the pros and cons for local and overseas labor force of Apple's going global? What are the potential political implications for company relationship? Yes, pros for Apple is that lower labor costs. Manufacturing in China and other countries with lower wage allow Apple to produce products at lower cost, boosting profit, flexibility, and speed. The passage highlights the speed and this adaptability of the China's workforce, which allow Apple to quickly respond to market demand and change. Access to skilled labor. The article suggests that China has a workforce with specialized skill needed for Apple's product, perhaps surpassing what is currently available in US. Increasing global market reach. Manufacturing closer to its major market can improve Apple's supply chain efficiency and brand recognition in those regions. About the cons is that jobless. The shift to overseas manufacturing resulted in significant job loss in US, affecting not only direct Apple employees but also related industry dependent on foreign labor. Apple is highly reliant on overseas labor, which could lead to vulnerability if geopolitical issues arise or labor conditions in those countries change. Reputational risk, concern about working conditions and labor practice in overseas manufacturing facility can harm Apple brand image. And potential political implication, trade dispute. The US may engage in trade dispute with countries like China, aiming to protect domestic job and industry, which could affect Apple's operation. Geopolitical tension. If the US and China or other manufacturing nations experience political or economic conflict, it could disrupt Apple's supply chain and create uncertainty for the company. Nationalism and protectionism. The movement of jobs overseas can fuel nationalist and protectionist sentiment in countries like US, leading to call the policy that might restrict companies like Apple. And about another question is that as a US corporation, does Apple and its management have a moral obligation to provide jobs for US employees first? If this is the case, then does this put international employees at a distinct disadvantage? Apple has a responsibility to its shareholders to maximize the sale revenue to at the lowest possible cost. In order to do that, they need to recruit talented people of any nationality over the world, and if there are two equal ability candidates, they need to pick one from the low cost country because the salary cost will be lower. This is not to mention about the fact that many Americans expect to get medical insurance or other high cost benefit, effectively pricing themselves out of the game. It is depending on the personal ethic and attitude of individual student. Many students will agree with Apple executive. Others will suggest that the Apple executive were too quick to move production overseas. Some will continue to argue that Apple ought to maintain domestic production and have the American workforce. If the US workforce can be deployed to produce higher value skills such as idea generation and development, then lower level assembly skills should be moved abroad. It is certainly true that many global organizations will reduce international employee first rather than home-based employee. From a business perspective, hiring workers from overseas would be the best way for any company to boost profit. But from the moral points of view, the company should provide jobs for the local citizens first, as I believe that the most of top management in the company are US citizens, and I don't think that this would put the international employee at a distinct disadvantage. And the last question for this case is it possible for US management to organize, motivate, and ensure quality in the Chinese manufacturing facility? US management US manager cannot do that because the political and social system in China was quite same as US. It can be seen in China workers cannot form independent trade union in the labor market which affect work level. Besides that, the China government allow foreign manufacturers to conduct business here. It is imperative for Apple management to ensure that their business principle and is embraced by the China's plan. This means that training, communication, and leadership are all important developmental factors. It is already known that the Chinese employees are more flexible and diligent, also their payments are low. So, by conducting some strict items in the contrast, they will be able to manage them better.
So first of all, I would like to pay my high respect to teacher. My name is Kim Lee Mei, and there will be 3 members in my team. First is me, second is Lai Suparin, and the last member is Sư Sodalin. So today I am going to respond with the case incident 2 from question 1 to question 18. So the case study will be about, let's say you work in a metropolitan city for a large department store chain, and your manager puts you in charge of a team to find out whether keeping the store open on an hour longer each day would increase profit. What data might be available for you for your decision making process? And another question is, what data would be important for your decision? So I would like to respond to those questions based to our discussion and our research. If we would need to collect data to see whether the store should be kept open another hour, we would first observe on how busy the area is around that time, and we would then check if the traffic flow is consistent with our target market or not. And we would then look at the possible amount of money or budget that could be made, and based on another store chain data that is open later with the similar environment. And we would also observe the competing store in the same area with the same target market, and how long their store are open and how busy they are. So we have 2 data sources. The first data that might be available to our decision making process to see whether keeping the store open on an hour longer each day, if profit would increase, are divided into 3 main parts. The first is about the attendance. So attendance should be monitored and is important in determining if the store hour should be extended by 1 hour. This is because by knowing how many people come into the store during the extended hour, you will see people who are still interested in coming into the store to browse the product being sold. This makes each person a potential customer, and if there is a high enough attendance in the edit hour, there is a good chance that this potential customer will purchase something. So the second point is about sales. I'm sure you have heard the quote that sales is the lifeblood of a business, which totally makes sense because in reality, with no sales there is no business. And sales is important in determining if being open on extra hour will be feasible. And being open an extra hour increased cost because wage must be paid, and electricity usage will increase. So in order to determine if the extra hour is a logical choice or not, profit must be higher than cost. And if sales are low during the added hour, it doesn't justify being open longer. The whole point of this experiment is to see if profit would increase, so this is fairly important. So the last main point of our discussion is about customer comment or criticize on the extended hours. Feedback and networking is also important. Hearing out what your customer have to say about the extended hours is very valuable. By having proper communication with your customer, they can give you a good idea of what people think and if the extended hour were a good idea or not. And you will see by having proper human skill, you will be seen as invaluable because of the high demand for superb customer service in today's modern businesses. Okay, so the second main point, As the manager, the data that would be important to our decision in extending the store hours by 1 hour is to review past trends from when this experiment began. A manager needs to have conceptual skills which will help find if any correlation between profitability and the number of the hours that the store was open. As I have addressed before, and the sales, since the store will be kept open for an extra hour daily, cost will be increased. By doing an analysis of cost versus profits, we can forecast if having the store open an extra hour hurts the business or increase revenue. With this information, the higher apps can finally determine if being open an extra hour is the right direction for the store or not. So that's all for our case incident discussion. Thank you, teacher, and our classmate for watching the video. Thank you.
So I would like to continue the next question. Question 119. What kind of data may we want in OB application? I believe that job certification is probably the most important data to collect. A survey that inhabits whether employees are content at work or dissatisfied and why can give a higher understanding of what change may need to be made. With a high job satisfaction, there will be less absenteeism and employment turnover. With an enhanced productivity and human performance. In organizational behavior application, the kind of data that we want is first, psychographic data. Psychology is a discipline that contributes to the OB file. Finding out people value, opinion, attitude, interest and lifestyle in the kind of the data need in OB application. By knowing the information, an organization can find better methods to make its own organization work more productive and effective. Many businesses use this to their advantage. By knowing this information, an organization can prevent future problems from arising and or increasing job satisfaction, human performance, employment turnover, and furthermore, it encourages proper and accurate evidence-based management which complements systematic study. Second, demographic data. Society is also contributing factor to the OB file. This helps us understand people in relation to their environment or culture. By having demographic data, an organization can better understand what culture, race, level of education, etc. that company is dealing with. Having the information can help an organization with the management between people of different culture. It is widely known that all cultures are different in many aspects, but some have many similarities. Knowing the difference and how the complement in each one can increase motivation within an organization and encourage diversity. Different cultures communicate differently, and in case words and expression mean different things to their culture, understanding their prevent future issues and help my people to different culture into one cohesive organization. The question of a case incident 2, question 120, as Braverman note, one problem with big data is making sense of the information. How might a better understanding of psychology help us sift through all the data? Better understanding of psychology gives you the advantage of understanding why people have a certain way and why they make certain decisions. This gives you an advantage of better understanding data and make sense of it since you have on an overall understanding of the human mind and behavior. Understanding the psychologies of individuals have transformed the data into useful information as it explains the behavior of humans, what motivates them, and why their attitude, personality, emotion, leadership, etc. Understanding psychology helps it in extracting useful information from the big data on which it will the decision making process. And that's all for the case incident 2.